Themes, alright.
Themes work. Reincarnation?
Reincarnation, yeah. There was a lot of Buddhist symbolism in the first show, and I don't know if everyone picked up on that, but especially in the overall theme of the first show is eventually it turns into an all-out war between these Corallians, the weird floaty cloud aliens, and the humans. And so one of the things that it's hard to understand from our Western perspective is we're used to religion in which eventually good God is going to overcome bad deity and there is only good. But in Buddhism, your big goal is balance. Mm-hmm. So it's not good for there to be all of one or all of the other, because that's imbalance, and imbalance is the only real bad thing.
And that's what leads to, like, Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Sith, making a big comeback and everything.
Yeah,
spoiler for that movie for those that haven't seen it.
Whoa, I haven't watched Star Wars Episode 3. Anyone who watches my channel knows how I feel about Star Wars at this point.
Okay.
Oh boy. There were only 3 movies. They came out in the 80s and the 70s. There weren't 4 others or a TV show.
No, there wasn't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Though there might be a Christmas special. That's pretty funny. But yeah, you get these Buddhist themes, and there was this big thing going on with balance, and the fact that Eureka in the original... Okay, I am going to throw out that spoiler from the TV series. Eureka turns out to be a Corallian in the original, and there is that balance of the human boy falls in love with a Corallian girl, and they work through it, though.
Yeah.
And eventually they want that to be the same thing with this war, that eventually the humans and the Corallians can see eye to eye. And
what are they called again? In the movie?
The Azo.
Azo. Yeah, they changed the name. It's pretty much the same, but you can just take it as
they look the same as the Corallians.
Different people give it different names,
So, and where my theory came from with the reincarnation thing was, since Buddhism was such a big theme in the first show, I really think that since the story and the setting are so drastically different, but these are still technically the same characters and they maintain a lot of the same traits, that these might be reincarnations of the characters we already know. They're just in a different setting, dealing with things in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, they do only a few, like, major nods back to the series. Like, they get to glimpse the other universe, which is where the series took place, several times. But nothing, too drastic so that people in the audience will probably, like, go, wait, what's going on? It's kept really well and contained.
They do a really good job at making this film accessible to newcomers. Mm-hmm. This is not an Eureka 7 fan movie. This is a anime movie that anyone who likes sci-fi can sit down and enjoy.
Yes.
Characters. Should we talk about character changes and that kind of thing?
We could, sure.
I don't know if any other... characters tie into themes, so we're gonna...
Yes.
Relationships are a key part of the story.
Yes.
Renton and Eureka are, of course, the driving couple. And I was really moved by those two. Mm-hmm. That one scene where they're reunited, we already went over, was awful. But every other scene those two were in felt really heartfelt to me.
The relationship between the two is pretty good, though I will admit I was a little disappointed in Eureka's character in that she wasn't as strong as she was, like, in the series, like, as independent. Just a little spoiler, like, she's often seen calling for Renton to save her. Though it's not too bad, but it happens enough that it's like, really? Eh.
That was a bummer for me. It was like Renton's whininess from the TV show got transferred over to movie Eureka. Because Renton isn't nearly as whiny in this.
Eureka got reincarnated as Renton.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they switched bodies in this reincarnation. But that's neither here nor there.
Or anywhere, for that matter.
That really stunk. But there were some really great scenes between the two. The one that a lot of people talk about, and I absolutely love, is the "we're going on a date" scene.
Yes, that was hilarious.
You have you have them in the Spec 2, and they basically just had this long, really dramatic discussion with the crew of Gecko. And he like starts heading off in the other direction, and Holland's like, I thought you were going to help us. And he's like, I am going to help you, but I'm busy right now.
What could you possibly be doing?
We're going on a date.
What?
You know what a date is.
God.
And it's so great. I mean, and you know, it's that great kid romance thing. I mean, and he's blushing about it, but he's young, and it's sweet. And
the things that happen on said date are
look no hands.
Look no hands. Oh God. Worst date ever. Why are you doing this? It's wonderful and adorable to watch.
Every scene with those two, except for the one that I already mentioned, that I know I'm going to keep going back to that because I can't. But all the other scenes are so great. I loved those two characters, and I wanted to see them together. And I didn't want to see bad things happen to them. And in a movie like that, that's the feeling the director wants you to have, but that you don't want to have, because
yeah, it's the end of the world, you know, doom and gloom, and then you have these characters that you just really love, and how they work together, and just the hope that they bring, and you're really, you know, right next to them, like cheering them on, like, oh God, I hope they make it.
And that was I think the strongest part of the movie. The strongest theme in the movie was this hope.
Yes.
Because it's so doom and gloom, and those little rays of hope mean so much more to you. You really want things to work out, even though it doesn't feel like it ever is going to for any of these people.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty end of days kind of thing.
Holland is an interesting.
Holland's interesting. He's had a paradigm shift, if you will.
He's a lot edgier than the last show, and people who watch the TV show probably think, "Well, I thought Holland was kind of a hard ass that time." What? What are you talking about? He is just hard.
Yes. There's not much better way to describe it without spoiling anything, which we will not do, because that would steal something from you.
We can still kind of. There's some things. I thought that the one time that you don't really see Holland being completely hard is with Talho, and I thought that relationship was really well put together. You don't see them on screen as much as Renton and Eureka, but
when you do, it's
you get the feeling
there.
of Crispin Freeman in the interviews they had afterward summed it up really well. You can see a very mature relationship between the two, and it's interesting because it is a mature relationship going on between people who are
not very mature in age, if you will.
Not very mature in actual age or experience. And if you thought that in the TV show, boy, there will be some humdingers to that show.
Yes. Quite a few other characters. You might be surprised there are a lot of shifts in how they were in the series, but they work from the movie as far as reincarnations are concerned as different.
And as far as different people, and who's to say that the characters from the first show wouldn't have acted the way they did if they were in this circumstance?
Yes.
Because the situation the characters on Gecko are in is very different from their TV counterparts.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Their TV counterparts almost got the easy way out.
Yeah, they really did.
And if you know what happened to them, then you're probably thinking, "Whoa."
Remember that doom and gloom we keep coming back to?
Yeah, this is a very depressing movie sometimes, and sometimes it's a very hopeful movie.